Dun, 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 dun. MartiniWorks. That's the new one. How's it sound?
New one? We'll try it out.
What season is it?
It's
season 1 because we're
We're
close
almost
to
to
2. We're
season
close
2.
to 2.
Ladies
We can
and
see it on the horizon.
if you are listening in, ladies and gentlemen, you will notice no difference between this week and next week. However, if you watch, you're going to see that there is a substantial difference because this is the last time that there are 4 adult men in a 12 by 14 bedroom filming a podcast. And I am excited.
They can't see Mario, but he's here.
Yeah.
Mario's hiding behind the curtains, if you will, because we have finally, can we say it?
Yeah.
We got a shop.
We got shop.
I think we did say, but like it's official.
Yeah,
that
we signed it.
And they didn't cancel it halfway through.
Yeah, they didn't say, actually,
the
we
big
don't
part.
like you.
They didn't say
And
psych.
they unsigned a legal document. I'm not entirely,
And-
that probably wasn't legal.
No.
It's not next to a church.
No,
It is next to a pickle factory.
we like
Even
pickles.
better.
We like it.
I do love pickles.
So the great news is we're going to be turning it into our very own home, which we're trying to do it a little bit different. It's going to take a long time for sure,
Yeah.
but I think one of the things I got most excited about was we're going to have all of our stuff in one spot. We're going to have a place for us to hang out. We're going to have the sim rig actually set up in a place that you can use. We have some merch that's going to be on display for people. We're going to have storage for all the WCC stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it's all going to be in one place for over 10 years, ladies and gentlemen. Across all of the random ass things that we do, we have spread the stuff out amongst homes,
Yeah, mostly homes.
closets, random storage units that I think I still pay for, but I'm not entirely sure if I do. And now we're all going to have it in one spot.
Dude, how funny would it be? You remember that show like Storage Wars or whatever it was?
They're auctioning
All
off.
of a sudden, Alex watching one day, it's just on TV. They open it up and the Glory and the Z is there. And he's like, oh, shit.
That's mine.
And they bid it away for like $5,000.
Yeah, most people have to worry about like Netflix and Hulu subscriptions that they didn't know about, or like gym memberships. Alex is just random storage units across Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, and it's not a flex. It's just quite literally, we have so much shit going on, and it's a me problem, but I'm excited.
Yeah, you
I think,
start a lot of
Cars
stuff.
are just big.
Well, I can't help it. Okay, it's one thing a year, and that's just how she goes. But what I will say, what I'm most excited for, and you guys can tell me if you think this is a little over the top,
Okay.
I want to do an open house.
No,
that's-
absolutely.
yeah, that's
Like-
right on
like
target.
May or-
everyone
you know,
from
May
the
or June.
podcast is invited.
Everybody that listens to the podcast and drops an emoji is invited.
Oh, they have to
automatically.
drop an emoji?
Yeah.
What
They're
emoji?
getting wild down there.
Okay.
What
I don't know.
Which emoji? Be more specific.
Well, I feel like if it's
Set some guidelines.
cake.
No. Let's do. I want to see the most unique emojis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Use the emojis that are never used.
That's a good.
That's what I want to see.
Careful.
Our
Careful.
One person can do cake.
Our
But once you
comment-
see cake, don't do it anymore.
Our comment section is just gonna look like
Yeah.
it got
No,
hacked.
Try to do a different emoji than everyone else.
That'd be awesome. Which, by the way, if your name is Clayton H, Braden G, Vince C, Alex H, Michael C, Christopher T,
Michael
and
Sarah?
actually Chris T, he's bought multiple things from us. Thank you, dude.
Nice.
Angel S, John F, Bristol G, or Brandon C. Thank you so much for the support, and a huge thank you to Clayton. Clayton picked up our largest order to date.
Yeah,
He's
That
throwing
was
a
wild.
body kit
Yeah.
on a Gloria, and I'm excited to see.
that is a huge order, physically and
monetarily.
It's like a
Don't
body
affirm that
kit-
one.
Body kit and an exhaust, right? Like it
Yeah,
all comes together.
it's like a
I didn't know that was a
full
thing.
kit. Yeah, well, probably because I would imagine that the body kit has like a specific exhaust cutout,
Yeah.
and so the exhaust has to fit that.
That makes sense. It just doesn't like.
You don't
I
hear
can't
that.
even get double A's with my remote, let alone
An exhaust with your body
exhaust
kit.
with my body kit.
That's
So
true.
that's really neat.
You have to imagine like the brand that makes this kit though is
Yeah, what was it?
absolutely floored because it's for like a Gloria Cedric platform, which is already quite
Odd.
uncommon. And then it's like the full kit with the full exhaust.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. And you
They're
know,
like,
there's
this is
some
the first one that we've ever sold.
somebody in Japan's like, where the fuck is that kit? Where did we put that in 2006?
Covered under like 5 inches of dust.
Fuck.
Yeah, what is it? It was a K-brake?
Yeah, K-brake kit.
body kit.
I always love that because if you guys are interested to know, and I think we talked about this before with body kit specifically, it's kind of a mystery as to why they make so many versions. But we'll let you in on a secret with body kits. They only make 60 typically per mold. And then when they need to remake the mold because fiberglass or resin starts to crack in there and things start to get weird, they make a new version. And that's why you have V2s and V2.5s and V3s. But these old kits, there was never like a new version. So
They just rock the same mold.
yeah, they just made 30 years ago, and they're just hoping they eventually sell. It's an investment, maybe, kind of.
That's why they're $7,000.
And that's why they're very expensive. So thank you so much for the support. And if you guys are looking to mod your car at MartiniWorks, tax season's coming up, but we promise to only sell you the good parts, good shit. We're not going to sell you dog shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Literally and physically.
Yeah.
Dakota?
Yeah.
Updates.
Okay, so Supra have been pricing out what I broke. Luckily, it seems
Sick.
cheaper than what I thought, so that's good.
Oh, yeah.
But I've been driving the Golf R some more, and
Ooh.
dude,
Honeymoon still
my
going
God.
hard?
Oh, dude, I want to sell the Supra and get a second Golf R.
What
That's how
the
good
fuck?
that fucking car is.
What's your,
Oh.
if you were to break it down into a single word on why the Golf R is so fantastic, what would the word be?
Sauerkraut.
That's
German, baby. Engineering, all right?
You eat
That
sour-
car was made by the German master. All right? That's why
Careful.
it's good. No.
Careful.
Honestly, though, Euro cars do stuff really, really well that JDM cars don't do.
Yeah. Like
break
what?
that down for me.
Interiors.
Fair.
And that's just,
Yes.
I'm not throwing shade. You know what you're getting into when you buy a Japanese car. If you go look at, like, let's say an Evo 10, STI, I'm just thinking of these common JDM cars, and you sit in them, and then you get a European car that's in the same price range, and you sit in it. They are two different worlds completely.
Yeah.
I would say I feel like Japanese cars are a little more focused on performance. Like you're gonna see like Brembo brakes and Recaro seats and stuff like that. Like you get a little more name brand heritage stuff in there.
It's like only the essentials. Like they focus
Yeah.
on the essentials.
Yeah.
Where
But then, dude, like even the fact that because it's a 2017, but the touchscreen, just how fucking good it works and feels, and
Yeah.
it's just like next level.
and
But
that's something to say too, even because for a 2017 one, 6 years later now,
yeah,
to still be like, damn, this is keeping.
I
up.
know
Yeah.
it blows me
'Cause
away.
usually it's like, I hop in my mom's Dodge Ram, and a year later, it's like this shit.
Dude, it's
fucking
almost like you get it off the
outdated.
lot and you're like, man, this is kind of, I don't know. All right.
Well, that's what I noticed with the Nissan without the Apple CarPlay.
Mhm.
When I just had it connected to the normal Bluetooth, I'm
Oh,
looking
yeah.
at this integration or infotainment system. I'm like, this shit looked like Google Maps from like 2009, like
Yeah.
black and white, no color, old, slow. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And
That's just-
Apple CarPlay comes in, it's like, oh
yeah,
my god,
yeah. Luckily
Thank
that has
God.
it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
they have relied on that a lot.
yeah.
Like that has been like a saving grace for a lot of manufacturers.
Yeah.
I feel like they're like, Apple's like, we got this one.
And to be fair, I do have to agree with you because for the brief period of time when I had that Gen 2 R8, which obviously is the Halo car of Audi, but they put a lot of that stuff in their other Audi lineup. I have never had a more driver-centric, focused infotainment, dash system, everything was perfect. There was never a time where I was like, I really don't like that.
Yeah.
Everything was perfect and right where it should be. You get in some of these new cars with the 48-inch dash, and it's like you're like overcome with fucking options and
Yes.
colors, and it's noisy.
Yeah,
It's very
100%.
noisy.
It's so refined. It's so nice. And just driving the car feels good. The fucker pulls like a freight train in first and second. It has its different driving modes between comfortable, normal, race. It has a lap timer. It has a boost gauge built into the dash. It's like the perfect, like, I feel like I'm at that age where it's like, even though I still really like SRT4s, Cobalt SSs, I'm in like that next bracket of car, right? Like we've leveled up, I've evolved, I've hit level 32, and I'm in that mid level
Your back's starting
evolution.
to hurt. You want to
Yeah.
be comfortable.
Dude, yeah.
Now all of a sudden, buying
is
race seats, you're looking
phenomenal.
at it, you know?
So good. I don't have. Oh, I do have one negative thing to say about
right.
it, and it's bad. It's really fucking bad.
Hey, don't stress me out, okay?
And it's about the interior. So maybe I'm backtracking here. It's so
hell's going
fucking
on?
stupid. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. The volume knob rotates like the symbol. So like let's say you turn your volume up, your symbol's all like cattywampus and angle. Like why wouldn't the center just stay and the knob turn? So then the logo of the volume knob is just there. You know what I'm saying? That is the most annoying shit.
I would have paid to
what-
see Dakota realize that.
What symbol are you talking about?
Is it like a plus minus?
Like the power icon for like on your radio, like that's where the volume is. So like the power icon rotates as you rotate it.
So if it's like at 50 degrees, You don't know what button it is?
No, it's not about knowing what button
No,
it is.
it's
about the fact
aesthetically
that
ugly.
It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
How big is it? Oh, okay. I was expecting like maybe a little guy.
Well, I
was
mean,
like,
it's the thing is my Supra has the same exact thing, same exact knob, and the power button stays straight when you rotate it. It is so it's such a dumb idea to
That's
have
fair.
just a.
That's fine.
Imagine your air conditioning controls if they all turned with the knob. How stupid
Yeah.
that would be.
I get that. I get that.
Don't got that issue in a
I
Nissan.
just don't know if I would notice that.
Oh, I feel like
I would notice
you have
it.
to.
No, I would.
Well, I'm
notice
gonna
it.
now.
And probably the most important update is I hit 93 fishing in RuneScape.
We're over halfway, baby.
Or over
We're
halfway.
over halfway officially.
Nice job.
When-
Can I buy your lobsters?
No, it's monkfish.
Can I buy your monkfish? I'm gonna go PKing.
Yeah, I got
How many?
I think 60K,
How much?
60,000.
How much per?
Well, I don't
Flash,
know per, but
Flash
it's,
one buying monkfish.
it's around 11 mil or so.
Ugh, I can do 8.
I got to cook them. I might get 99 cooking after 99 fishing.
I remember dropping in the old super strength pot,
Mhm.
super tack pot, defense pot, going out there with some prayer pots and
Yep.
just monkfish, a couple of the other vials so that you could double up on the eating. And no matter what I learned about PKing, I always got too anxious. Ended up fucking something up. I watched RuneScape PKing like live streams. They're all adults. There's no child.
No,
playing
dude.
Old
No.
school
These
RuneScape
people
anymore.
are
And then it's like I'm watching it. I'm like, maybe I should get into it. It would be fun to PK again. And I watch these people like
You're too
they're
late to
hotkeying the
learn.
motherfucker thing, and they're fighting 3 people at the same time. I'm like, I could barely switch from an ancient staff to a DDS to PK somebody. This motherfucker is like, here's 17 different outfits
Yeah.
and 14 different pots. I'm good.
You got to enjoy the other parts of the game. That's why I fish.
Just casually grinding your life away.
Click,
It's like brain rot for gamers.
click.
RuneScape is brain rot.
Ooh,
for
the number
gamers.
went up.
Let's go.
Humans are simple creatures. Gels,
Hi.
any update on the cars there?
No.
You figure out why your car's making noise? We're just going to avoid that.
I'm just
Just turn the volume up type deal.
turn the volume doesn't go up high enough. It's getting louder.
Holy shit. It's getting louder. It's getting
No,
worse.
no, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I honestly have just been procrastinating really bad and have not had the chance to look at it. So hopefully this weekend, be able to dig in there a little bit.
Take
see
a
what's
peek.
going on.
Maybe it'll be good news. Maybe you're gonna be like, oh, it's
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
torn boot or something, and it's just making some noise.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it goes well.
What about you, Alex? What have you been working on with the cars? What's the latest?
It's only
update?
been a few days. So, what you got?
Oh God. I got new car parts. So I'm working with Grip Royal on a steering wheel for the S2000. So that came in.
Oh,
And then we got a little custom center cap made that's got the MartiniWorks logo, and then in the middle it says "Go Like Hell." So I'm really excited for that.
Center-
And
you
then-
mean like the button?
yeah, the
Okay.
button. And then the whole point is like the stitching and the suede match the seats that are coming from Status. So
That's really cool.
I'm waiting for Status to give me an update because obviously all their stuff is like handmade. They hand stitch it or put the colors
I've
together,
heard
whatever the fuck it
people
is.
say status. I've heard people say status.
Listen, the 2 dots above one of the A's just confuses everybody. Maybe it's
Is it
above the
abo-
T.
I thought it was above the U.
Well, there you go.
Status.
Status. Anyway,
I can't remember.
Outside
I've
of
never
that-
been rich enough to have those seats.
I reached out to Ballad Sports as well, and I got some rails, some adjustable rails
It's
for
Ballad.
Stop it. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And so hopefully once that's in, really all that's left is like 10 other things. And then we're gonna get it locked and loaded. But I did learned a lot because we took out the soft top of the S2K and I couldn't figure out, there's like this guy that was on Instagram or on forums back in like 2004
Oh,
Nice.
that had a picture of like a plastic cover, but it was a hard top.
Okay.
And so it was like a delete. It looked like a soft top delete.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
so they put like okay.
And I'm like, where's that? Why need that? And I went on like a 3-hour search through
And
the
it's like-
catacombs of forums. I learned this guy's name, first name, last name, Facebook page, Instagram. I went to his Instagram.
Social security
he
number?
hadn't had a Honda S2000 in 9 years.
Oh,
I'm like,
shit.
oh God, I'm gonna feel really weird messaging this guy. Go to message him, doesn't allow messaging unless you follow. Went to follow him, requested,
Oh.
sit there for 3 days. I'm like, fuck it. And so I started looking around,
Damn,
and
this
I'm going
guy's
through.
exclusive.
I'm going through every possible channel to figure this out until finally, through creating an account on one of the Honda forums, I was able to get access to one of like the closed threads.
Yep.
And he had said, "Oh, it's just the stock soft top cover. If you take the piece off of it, you can just put it right back in the car." So I spent, I'm not even kidding, like 7 hours in total looking
Like
for this
for a
piece.
part you already have.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's where I was at.
That's quite the story.
Yeah, so we got that going on, and then essentially from there on out, it's figuring out the wrap, really trying to decide on that. It's just everything's so freaking expensive, man. So it's tough to, like, you need brakes. I want to get new tie
Those are
rods.
important.
I want to get new, not even like upgraded tie rods. I just want to get OEM tie rods. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, well, transmission or diff, I'm sorry. And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, a wrap is $2,000. It's like,
That's pretty good for that kind
well,
of.
that's just the design. Right?
Oh,
we talked about the
yeah,
design,
that's right. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, maybe I just wrap it the base
I was
color and we
thinking
do it
something.
ourselves. And then it's like, well, it's probably gonna look like shit then. And it's like, I don't know, man.
I woke up and thought this thought.
I had a nightmare.
Would you, like, and I know you guys have had wrapped cars, but, like, would you ever buy a car that's currently wrapped?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Isn't that crazy? And nowadays, there's tons of wrapped cars. I was just thinking about that.
Dude,
Like,
with how many?
you have no idea what's
no.
under there.
You have no idea who wrapped it. With
Even
how
the
many-
owner might not know what's under there.
Unless it's like an actual track car, in which case you know why it's wrapped.
Right.
It got
Yeah,
absolutely
that's
shit
true.
on.
Yeah, I suppose that if I'm
Like if
buying
you're buying a track spec Miata
Yeah.
or something and it's got a wrap on it, you know that if you were to peel that thing off,
it's gonna be fucked.
It's
Yeah.
terrible.
You're
underneath
probably
it.
the only reason you're peeling it off is to rewrap it.
Yes.
So.
Well,
Absolutely.
and there's so many factors that could go into it because, like, yes, the paint could have been fucked.
Mhm.
It could have mismatched body panels, or even the person that installed the wrap could be cutting that bitch
Oh, yeah.
up on accident.
Well, that's what happened to my 996.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
happened when we put the wrap
It
on that
happens
car.
so many times.
Yeah, because they're like, you won't notice.
No.
And
It's
it's
underneath
like,
the wrap.
Yeah. By the time you do notice, you're not taking it off for a few years. I'm gonna be out of business anyway.
literally, I swear to God, I don't know what it is with wrap companies, but there's only few and far between. Joran over here in Appleton is probably like one of the only guys I think I now go to for anything like that because
Yep.
it's not that I've had bad luck. I just for some reason it seems like the tinting wrapping business model it brings in the people that trick you into going into the wild and then they kill you and you're fucked and you lose all your money. Except it's not death. It's just your car is now worth less because they completely fucked it up.
I do agree. Tint shops are hard to come by. Like, I
Good
find
ones.
one, and I'm like, oh, I like this. Shut down. All right. Then
Yeah.
I go and it's like you ask around, like, hey, where do you go tint? You get like 3 different answers. You look it up. One of them's closed. The other one has terrible fucking reviews. And the other guy's like, I'm booked till 2028. What the fuck are you doing asking for tint? I'm like, okay. I guess I won't do it.
There's usually a few things that I can like smell out if a shop is good or
Okay.
like it meets a criteria. Number one, this is gonna sound really bad. Do they accept credit card payments? Okay, I know this is setting the bar low, but the amount of times I've asked about wrap or tint and they've been like, yeah, it'd be like $200 cash. I'm no longer interested. I'm scared.
Why?
Because if they lead with the cash first, the business is already on a decline. Okay, the 3% credit card fee is not going to be the
They
reason the
just
business
don't-
shut down.
Hey, well, taxes, Uncle
No,
Sam.
no, I get it, but it's the business principle. They're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, give me
No.
200 cash, I'll do it. It's like,
I get what you're saying. I
It's
get
a
what you're
bit
saying.
of a red flag.
yes,
Yeah.
I get what you're
It's
saying.
like
It's just not
you
professional.
really better know the guy.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That's it. Number two,
Okay.
you can't put the keys in a drop box. You just leave it in the car.
Oh yeah.
That's warning. That's red
I don't-
flag number 2.
I don't like that.
I've had it before where I've reached out to people and they've been like, yeah, if you just want to drop it off at my house, you can leave the keys in like the mailbox or like on the top of the wheel and I'll take care of it. I'm like, red flag number 2. Not in.
Don't like that.
Not in. I'm out.
Metal box ain't that expensive.
That's what I'm saying. You bolt it to a wall with like 2 nails that you could easily rip off. I will actually feel safer regardless.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
It doesn't matter. It's a box.
Do you have a red
Can't
flag
open it.
number 3?
I'm thinking about it. I did have a red flag number 3, and that red flag number 3 was when I had this one time where the guy was telling me that he could just tint it like at my house. He's like, I can bring everything over and I can tint mobile tinter. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, do you have like a setup? And he's like, no. He's like, but what I'll do is I'll just have everything shipped to your door and I'll just install it there. I'm like, okay, sounds good. And then he's like, well, do you have like a water hose? And I'm like, why do you need a water hose? He's like, well, do you have a spray bottle or something like that?
Oh
and I'm
my
like, okay, I'm done. This is not build a window tint shop. Okay, like I'm sorry, man.
You're actually my first customer. I have no
Do you
idea
have
what
a
I'm doing.
squeegee?
Yeah, can
Yeah.
I? And The other one, if there's a fourth red flag, is like I get you. There are some jobs where you have to like buy the material ahead of time, right? Like put a deposit down. But when you have to buy the whole service, or like put money down for him to buy the material, that usually scares me a little bit too.
Yeah, well,
Sometimes with window tint specifically, with wrap, totally get it because it's a more expensive thing.
Yeah,
but like window tint is like
normally
you
they
gotta
got
roll
that,
on you.
Yeah, I
You
was gonna
know.
say, normally they have it on deck ready to go. It's kind of weird that you gotta.
I'm just very confused by. I don't know if you guys and the audience will let me know. I got the Z windows tinted by Joran, and we were talking about like different options, and I love Joran to death. I still don't fucking understand the value propositions of XP Pro Ultimate Black Max 99.7% HPVFUL VR headset included. Like I don't get
It is kind of wild, all the different like, and this has gone on through the years of like levels of tint that you can get. Like, it's like I want 20%, but there's 5 different options for 20%,
And you
like,
know that
they
shit
can get
is-
so crazy expensive too. It's absolutely insane. I don't know. I've heard people that aren't tint shops say that like they got the like because it's supposed to deflect the sun more, and
keep
they
the
say
heat
they
out,
really
all
like
that
it.
kind
But
of stuff,
I don't know. In my experience, regular tint does that just fine.
I've definitely noticed cheap tint, but I think it's just a little confusing to me when it's like the popcorn model at movie theaters where it's like a small is $9 but a large is $9.65. So it's like you look at the tint and it's like, well, tint is going to be $300 but the Ultimate Pro Max HDR 4K is, you know, $30 more. It's like, well,
do that.
am I what do I buy? Now I feel like I have to buy the better one.
Exactly.
Yeah, the movie theater always gets me. I'm always, every single time I'm in line to get concessions, like, we'll sneak some in.
What?
I know. We'll sneak some in. But then it's like, oh, I'm in the movies. I want a soda and popcorn. I'm not going to sneak in a soda. So it's like, I'm like, okay, we're going to do it this way. It's going to be super
police.
cheap. Hey, shut up. Don't call the police anymore.
911.
What's your emergency? Yes, he's stealing candy. No. Okay, so my point here, I always think it's going to be super cheap, and I get it planned out in my head. And then when I go to pay, it's $40 fucking, and I don't
For popcorn
know
and
how
soda.
they do it.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm like, what? No,
Yeah,
I
they
got
get
the
you with the
medium.
$5 movie night.
Yeah.
And then the $40
And
for
even
concession.
with sneaking in candy and shit, it's still like $40.
Do you have the Marcus Theaters card?
It's
I'm
a
not
good
doing
card
all
to
that
get.
shit.
It's a good card.
to get.
I go to the movie
It'd be like
theater.
$38.
I go to the movie theater twice a year.
So here's what I will say. Since we're just letting out
That's
our
why
dirty
they
laundry.
charge $40 for fucking popcorn.
There's been times where Beck and I would put like, you know, I don't know what it is with movie theaters and Angry Orchard because I don't drink Angry Orchard at any other point in my life besides when I go to movies. But we'll keep like we'll put some Angry Orchard in like a little cooler. And then before we walk in, we bring in the Angry Orchard and we get the popcorn and it's a $2 movie night and it's still $40.
Listen,
I don't understand.
I don't know how much that I believe because I specifically remember doing keg stands on an Angry Orchard keg at Alex's party.
I ended up on the roof of my own garage that day.
Not a movie theater.
Right.
But he's like, I never drink Angry Orchard
It's
outside
a
of a.
keg of
That's
Angry
what I'm
Orchard.
saying.
I mean, I like Angry Orchard. I'm not one of them snobs. I don't give a fuck what you drink. Drink what you like.
That was
But
a great day.
I've
that for
never
your
heard
birthday?
of someone
Yeah.
having a keg of Angry Orchard.
What about doing keg stands on an Angry Orchard?
That's so wild to me.
And Becca did a better keg stand than I did, just to be clear.
You still ended up on the roof somehow.
I don't know what I was doing up there. It was an exciting time.
I think Sean Berger got the basketball stuck up.
Yeah, or something like that. That was back at the first house in Appleton. That was an awesome time. What I will say is that the project cars are going to come along even faster now that we have a space, which is absolutely awesome. Maki,
He's gonna
Mario,
He's your responsibility.
Mario, you are responsible for him. He's coming with us. That's Shop Cat. He's coming with for sure.
Cat.
PK.
Well, if PCAT pees at the shop, it's all on concrete. It's a little
PK
better.
peas, I'm a PK him.
Whoa! Maki, he didn't mean that. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to take a break, but not after talking about one of our favorite sponsors in the entire world, Continental Tire. If you guys have been listening to this for like the last 6 months, you already know we're going to talk about Conti. But
Yeah, baby.
I do want to bring in a little bit of a news flash for you.
Breaking news.
Tax season's coming around. People are looking at car parts to buy, and most of them are looking at wheels or coilovers. And I would just highly recommend that as you make that budget decision, you look at getting good tires. Don't get cool wheels with shit tires.
Yes.
Continental Tire has some really great options. They are affordable. They work super well. The DWS06 Plus is a fantastic tire. Mario, watch the cat peeing. And, of course, the ECS02 is a great track tire as well. So if you guys are interested in picking up some tires, we have them all on the website at MartiniWorks. We actually stock quite a few of them as well, which means that if you order it, we can get it to the warehouse in like less than a day, and then we ship it out to you, and you're right as rain. So it's super awesome. We're super thankful for Josh and the Continental Tire team for being a partner of the MartiniWorks podcast. You're going to see us talk about them more as we get into the springtime. But yeah, that's what I got. Let's take a break.
I don't think new cars are going to age well at all.
Why?
Because they have the huge electronic dashes in the screens going on. It looks like Jetson shit. And think about any time an iPhone came out and how you look back at an old iPhone and you're like, Jesus, it looks prehistoric. That's exactly what's going to happen. If you look at older cars, they all have mechanical gauges and stuff, and that has aged very well over time. For the most part, there's some interiors that are dated, but I just think all these digital dashes are going to age like fine shit.
I think there's been a weird decline in the mid-tier cars, especially when you mention if it's being timeless or not, because everybody always thinks about the halo cars of certain brands. They always are like, no, it's going to be timeless. The Supra will be timeless. The GR86 will be timeless. But they're only looking at maybe just the exterior, or they're only looking at the top-tiered package option, where most people are buying the base model sports car. When you do look, especially on like the domestic side right now, or even like the new Nissan Z, the interiors, they do leave a lot to be desired versus some of the old stuff from, the 2000s or even like the 90s. So timeless cars. How do you even make a car timeless? What do you think?
How do you mod a car and make it timeless?
Be timeless. I mean, what comes to mind for me is buying like real good parts. Like authentic, like legit. If you're buying aftermarket parts, like what is going on at that time, and not necessarily just falling into like trends that are going on.
Sure.
Yeah,
I think you need to have a good outlook on like stuff happening in like the scene, if you want to call it that, and be like, is this just like gonna be a weekly fucking TikTok thing, or is this kind of where everything is heading and it's gonna be around for a while? And I think you need to have like a good like kind of foresight and judgment on that. Before you go throw it on your car, because I think it can happen really quick where it's like you start just throwing a bunch of random aftermarket parts at a vehicle, and then you kind of lose sight of what you're even doing or like what your goal with it is. Whereas if like you have like a specific thought out process of it and you use really good parts that are going to last and hold up, I think that's how I would go about it.
I've always followed the 70-20-10 rule as much as I could. We've talked about this in the past, where it's like you look at a car build aesthetically, 70% of the car, unless it's like a wrap, should be one color. 20% is like your secondary color if you want to do something a little bit different. And then you have a tertiary color. That's usually like the brightest color of the group. But that's only 10% of the car.
Right.
And you really try to lock in like a 3-color tone build. And when you do that, you kind of put yourself in control a lot. Like you check yourself way more, because you're not throwing a random red or you're not throwing a random blue or an orange somewhere, because all of a sudden having, orange brakes on your car looks cool because everybody's doing it. Yep. Well, if you don't have that as one of your tertiary colors, you don't do it. You get the standard black or whatever it is that matches. And I know that it's helped me a ton with trying to make things work. Obviously with like wraps, it completely goes out the window, but I would say that like trying to follow a 3-color system definitely works. And chrome counts as a color, the polish counts as a color, your hardware on a overbody or like a wide body car, that counts as a color in my opinion. And plastics count as a color. So I do really try to lock that in, and I think it helps a lot of people, especially if you're new to building a car where you don't really know what you're doing. It's like, at least try to get the same color.
Yeah,
get the same color.
Keep your colors to a minimum for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't think builds necessarily need to be timeless. I think it can help because car parts are so damn expensive. So it's like, if I want to have a car and have it look good for a while, follow these guidelines. Some of these are just good guidelines in general though too. But like, I don't know. I think it's okay to hop on a trend too. If there's something you like, obviously we all like unique stuff. We all like to make, but there's, if it's a trend, it's probably because a lot of people enjoy it. And it's okay to do stuff that a lot of people enjoy.
And it's fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think what I look at it with that is like, if it's something that you can easily reverse
Yeah.
if needed.
Yep.
Where it's like, oh, everyone's running carbon hoods again. Okay, we'll just keep your stock hood for when
You know what's
don't like
not
that
easily
carbon hood.
reversed?
What's that?
Wide bodies. And I think that has been
Oh,
a very common trend. And I'm not throwing shit. A lot of people I think I hate wide bodies. I don't. It's just like I think you just really need to think about it before you're doing it,
It's
because
like
you're
you-
altering that car for the rest of its life.
I do regret doing that to the Datsun. Like I look back and even with like the Honda's a different story because we need it for actual driving purposes. But like I look back at the Datsun and it's like I liked it from a certain angle, and I used to love it from every angle, and that always really killed me with that car. And that's kind of what started the whole falling out of love thing. But like man, to do a wide body kit right, you really do have to like take your time and learn and figure out how to do it. Because even the kit that we did downstairs was like that was my first time heating up fiberglass and reshaping it and doing that, and it's still not perfect. Like it's one of those things where the guys that I was working with are like, this could be, you know, a 500-hour job or it can be an 80-hour job. What do you want? And it's like, well, I want it to be perfect. They're like, well, it's gonna be 500 hours. It's like, okay, never mind.
Joe's had a good reason for his wide body kit.
Yeah.
I mean, I initially when I bought the car, I noticed like some rust and stuff like that, and immediately I was like, I know I can go get $1,000 over fender kit and just cut it out and be good. Because like looking at where it was, I had a good idea of like how far it like progressed, and we got all of it out, which was awesome. So it's like, you know, the actual outside like of the car should be for the most part pretty good. But will be interesting, I think, especially with like the over fender wide body thing that has become, you know, what is that going to look like in 10 to 20 years when you have all these BRZs or WRXs or, you know, all these cars where those kits maybe aren't supported anymore and all the fiberglass is cracked, or, you know, things are starting to fall apart and it's like you can't get that exact kit anymore. You're going to have all these like cut up cars with no kits on them.
And figure out how to get a different
what is that gonna
kit
be?
on
Are
it.
we gonna see like the people offering things to like return them back to, you know, stock? Like, are they welding new quarter panels in? Like, I think that'll be interesting to see in like the next like 10, 15 years or so.
I think that's where you start to see a lot of the new era of what cheap cars will be. You know, it's like in 10 years when you start really seeing a lot of these first gen FRSs and BRZs and stuff kind of making their way into, you know, what I would say is like the drift community, right? Where it's like, I don't care if it's got a title or not. I really don't care what it looks like on the outside. I just want something that slides. And it's like those cars are going to go that direction.
100%.
You know, that's a good way. What would you say? I actually had a question for you. What would you say out of all the cars that you've built so far would be your most timeless car?
Ooh. I would have to say my FRS when I had it. Specifically when it was on the NTO3s.
Yeah, tell the group what you had done.
Yeah, so that was the FRS was like my first like big vehicle purchase. Before that I had like a 2G Eclipse that like, you know, we kind of like rebuilt, and like, you know, that was like in high school. I had like E36. So it's like, you know, all like older cars. The FRS was like my first introduction to like a new, in a sense, car. It was a hot lava FRS, really low miles, snagged it from a dealership, was super excited about it, was really excited to hop into like some actual decent modifications. So I got like Tane Flexi coilovers, got some NTO3s with some like Nitto NT 555s or something like that, G2s, threw Gretty exhaust on it, Tomei header, like, you know, really took my time and like wanted to like do it right. And I think it really paid off, because I look back at that car now. It had a VIS carbon duckbill trunk on it, had a Battle Arrow chassis mount splitter, some side skirts. The only thing that honestly it was really missing for me was something to like, kind of like help round out the rear with that kind of stuff. But dude, Dakota asked for a picture of it. I think we posted it up a week or so ago. I was like, oh yeah, I got pictures. And I like dug through my Google Drive and like found some photos that I took of like that setup like up at like High Cliff in the fall. And I'm like, dude, I fucking miss that car. Like, that shit looks so good. Like, it had like a proper like super flush like meaty fitment on it. That car drove amazing. It sounded good. Fuck, I miss that car.
Dakota?
Probably my PT Cruiser. With I took the back seats out, had 4 12-inch Alpine Type R subwoofers. I had the tubed LED underglow, so it wasn't neon, but it was still tubed.
No, I know
so
exactly.
It was so weird. And a stick-on hood scoop, and the stick-on hood scoop is really just timeless. You're always gonna see them on AutoZone shelves.
Yep.
They ain't going anywhere.
Music will always be made, so the Type R
True.
subwoofer is just always going to be. And then
Underglow kind of came back.
that's timeless. It'll
Yeah.
always be around. It'll
True.
kind of ebb and flow, but it'll always be around.
I thought you were trying to joke before, but I think you're 100% right.
Would you? I mean, obviously the PT was the one I was going to go with too. But is
Yeah.
there a second option?
The second option, I was thinking about this. I don't know if I've really done a good job of doing a timeless build now that I think about it.
Oh,
Well, it's like, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I even said earlier, is like you don't have to do a timeless build. It makes things nice if you're going to keep cars for long periods of time. Guess who hasn't kept a car for a long period of time ever? Me.
yeah. I would say though, the GTI was on the right track.
That's true. Yes, that's actually probably the closest
GTI
one.
was
Yeah.
really good.
It just I had a Mark IV 20th anniversary,
The yellow
a
one,
Mola yellow
Yeah.
GTI, and
The
yes,
best thing about that car was its color.
yeah, it was 100%. Except it was like 4 different shades of yellow, which sucks.
That's Volkswagen. That's fine.
No, that was the previous owner. But yeah, no, I spent a ton of fucking time so I could dial in the fitment perfect on that car, and I did so much under the body, like the R32 spindles, the engine spacers, all different things. There's drop plates to center the rear wheels, so like everything lined up perfect. And then on top of that, I did a bunch of things around the car just to make it nicer. So like they all have similar problems, like cloth door panels that start falling apart. So I switched them all over to leather and stuff like that. So you're right. I think that was a good example because it was just nice, clean, simple.
Yeah, you were doing a lot of stuff to bring it back to like, I don't want to say stock for, but like just like the OEM quality for like the interior. You were freshening things up. You were spending the time not just like throwing a bunch of aftermarket stuff at it, but stuff to just, like you said, dial it in.
That's always the tough part.
I thought that was really cool. I loved following along with that build. I hope you get another one someday.
Dude, I would love to have it clean because that one still needed so
I know.
too much love for me, and I would love to just get just a decent one that's been like adult owned its whole life, maybe close to stock. I would pick one up in a heartbeat.
I do feel like when the going to and installing aftermarket parts when you have some like always stuff that could be fixed, I think is always a good move. Trying to, like, if you're gonna buy aftermarket wheels and you're like, yeah, but my like roof liner's falling, I was like, buy some glue and get that thing done at the same time.
That felt targeted. Jetta saying.
That's right.
Man, I don't know either. I mean, I think probably one of my favorite cars that always remained that I think I could like drive right now and nobody would bat an eye would have been the E55.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
The AMG, it was like it was right. It was the right color, had the right arches, the right wheels, the right tires, the right carbon. Everything about it was just
Fast as fuck.
It was just there, you know, and I
It was
love
a
that.
mean looking car.
I think on the list of like cars to build again on the YouTube channel, I do think an E55 needs to come back to that. Yeah, just because like
So how would you do it different?
Yeah, what would you do?
I think for me, I would probably go into something that's like a little bit more boisterous. Those cars, those cars could be like 1,000 horsepower, and I've always wanted to own 1,000 horsepower car for fun.
Jesus.
I know you don't need it, but it's really fun to have a huge car that has a ton of power.
You're one of them YouTubers now.
Yeah. Are those things capable of 1,000 horsepower?
Yeah.
Really?
Anything's capable of 1,000 horsepower if you have enough money.
I know.
But like I remember the
Mercedes
E55,
is
the E55 AMG with a short and pulley and water meth and all that sort of good stuff. I mean, people were pulling like 660, 700 of the wheels.
Yeah. So like, what is? Because I know
there's a threshold. It's somewhere up there.
there's a threshold, then it gets really expensive because it's like the same with like the 2J stuff that a lot of people don't understand. It's like, yeah, they can, and a lot of people have, but it's like you can get to this amount pretty easily with a certain amount of cash. But to get from 700 to 800 and above,
it gets harder.
It's exponential.
I have to preface it by saying there's no need for the power. It's just when you've had a car that's a big sedan and it's got a lot of horsepower, you start to realize why they're so much fun to just drive in a straight line and like just slam the pedal down. It is like Challenger energy.
Yeah, no, it's Viper energy, Alex. It's Viper energy. Shut the fuck up about Vipers.
Fun. It's an exciting time. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
It is. And there's something so casually exciting about having a car that has heated and cooled seats, a ton of room in the back, a huge trunk, big, just everything is large and oversized, and then you just do that, and the whole car just springs to life. The whole car, it's like the world has stopped moving so that the car can move. That torque is intoxicating. I would say that's why people love like when EVs launch and like, oh my God, it feels, it's like you get a crazy torqued like V8 supercharged car, dude, it's insane. It's such a cool feeling.
Sean is just screaming yes. Yes. Yes, I can hear him in Florida yelling right now. Yes, yes.
It's actually really funny. Last night, Maggie and I were coming back from Green Bay. We were just kind of talking and stuff, and we got on the topic of like cars and like, you know, she's like, well, you know, like what would be next? And I'm like, well, I really want to finish the 240. And, you know, we're like kind of talking about like kind of like dreams of like what I'd want to build and stuff like that. And it did come up that like, I think at some point I do want to do like some sort of like almost restoration or like resto mod on like an old muscle car. Yeah. I feel like that.
You guys are getting so weird on me. Not what I was expecting.
You want to hear?
It's gonna be when I'm like in my late 30s, but I think it will happen.
That'll be here like that.
I'm getting close.
I've had a new infatuation with a car.
What is
that has tickled my fancy. It's no longer the Viper.
It's not the Viper. You just sent me a Facebook listing for a Viper this morning.
Yeah, I did.
Literally, not a joke.
I want you to go look up. It's a very cool car.
Okay.
Looks astounding. The P1800.
I don't know what that is.
That sounds familiar.
It's a Volvo.
Wait.
From the late
Volvo?
60s.
Whoa, all right, okay.
I think it's a Volvo.
I thought it was an airplane.
Well,
Volvo
it might be. P1800. These cars, super neat, long nose, very low to the ground, coupe, short ass. Really is a fun looking car.
That sounds
I
right
wouldn't
up
know
your alley.
that this is a Volvo.
Let me see.
Yeah, see?
Ooh. How much are those? They look expensive.
You can find them for like 15 to 20, but most people are doing, you know, they're doing the like engine swaps. And they're
There's a
doing
fine
some
line here because some look really cool. I'm like, oh, this is good. And then some look god awful, terrible, ugly.
Because a lot of those old cars.
Yuck.
Yeah, it's the chrome. It's the Corvette copy.
Yeah.
It's the Corvette copy.
It's a sweet Corvette.
Yuck.
So that's the new hook I'm on right now. Facebook Marketplace has a stranglehold on me. Like if there was,
I know, same.
It's almost like they put you into an algorithm or something.
yeah, but it's different. Like it's different because it's not like, you know,
got Alex figured out.
most algorithms are, you know, like do some like buy this shitty product.
Oh.
You know what I mean? TikTok shop right now is like buy this shitty
yuck.
Alibaba part.
Yeah.
And then you like one thing, and then the TikTok shop is like, I'm gonna show you 27,000 other ads of that product, and that's how the algorithm works. Facebook is different. They're like, I know you like this. Here are all of them, all around the world that you can look at, and if you want, you can message the guy. We're fine. We're fine
We're just putting it out there.
We're fine over here.
Yeah, they're like, hey, by the way, you just lowered the price on it.
Yeah.
If you're interested.
Yeah, if you're, no worries.
Facebook Marketplace has become like my third favorite social media app. Like I find
Are you serious? It
like,
has a
it
dark,
goes from,
dark
like,
side.
I know it does. But
I
I'll like
hate
I'll be
Facebook
scrolling through like Instagram, hop over to TikTok. And it's like what's
Facebook.
Marketplace.
You know what it is? Buying on Facebook Marketplace is great. Selling on Facebook Marketplace is terrible.
Yeah, it's been because I mean I don't know how it works, but it's perfect. Because right now you go to my Facebook Marketplace, that's iconic. It's Viper, some old random early 70s muscle car, some R33 GTR, and then it's like Ferrari dealership sign, and then
I got hit with that one too.
Random house in Oklahoma with like 12-car garage.
They get tornadoes there.
And it's like
I like how it shows the stuff I could never ever get to.
yeah. Here's a $1.9 million home somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm like, wow.
Yeah, like 800 miles away.
Facebook Marketplace got it down. I do like it. I just don't like the feed or anything else.
Okay, circling back real quick to our first subject about timeless cars. What do you guys really think though about newer cars and like these? And I think this is a bit of like almost like a boomer conversation of like I like the old stuff. It was fine, and
it was analog.
I think digital stuff has its place and it can be done really well. But also, I just know like they got to figure out ways that they can like you plug in and update it as time goes on or something because like you can make the look fine, but that technology gets old so quick.
Yeah.
Nothing will make me giggle more than watching the videos on TikTok of people looking at the rear view camera of a Pagani Huayra, a multi-million-dollar car.
It's like
and the rear view camera's a
180p.
360p
Yeah.
fucking Xbox 360 camera.
It's off of like a fucking 2008 Dodge or like Ford F-150.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, that's the thing. Doesn't matter.
I think
But some of these are so huge, like the
Yeah.
fucking new Subaru.
Well, that's we were talking about. It's like it continuously every year takes up more and more and more, and it's to the point where it's like everything is on this display, and it takes up the whole. It's like they're on a mission to just like eliminate the dashboard itself. It's like I don't mind having just a dashboard.
Yeah, it's like-
It's never been like, man, there's too much dash. You know, like I wish we could really put something here. This is really underutilized space. You know, really be nice to have just a widescreen TV.
And it's just a copycat of whatever's on the other dash. Like most of these dashboards are like, well, we're gonna put the tachometer and speedometer just on the passenger side too.
It's like
Why? Why?
I know it's gonna fucking sound old, but it's like it's like they got the tach and the speedometer, and maybe tell me if the car's overheating, how much gas is in it. That's really all I fucking need.
2019.
I do really enjoy Apple CarPlay. I will
That
say
is
that.
20
nice, yeah.
the 20 I would say 2016 to 2019 I think Audi had the perfect combination where it was driver centric. There was obviously some controls for the passenger, but it was still very like controlled. The dash was integrated. The digital was integrated into the dash, which made it very nice and clean.
Yeah.
And some happened in 2020, and well, obviously something happened. And then everybody's like, we got old circuit boards. Let's put old shitty, heads-up displays and everything. And then they literally just took this 8-inch monitor and just glued it to the top of all
that's
these
what
dashes.
it just like. So much of it just looks so fucking out of place. Like it was almost like such an afterthought. Like I think that's what kind of drives me nuts more than anything. It's just like he just fucking slapped it on the top. Like like you said, if it's integrated, it's nice. The one thing with that though, it's like the top of the line one takes up the full space. You get in like the base model and it's a fucking 4-inch screen in a 20-inch place where it's just all plastic. Now it's like, what is even the point?
Yeah. I would say I think there are a couple cars I would say that are going to be iconic or timeless in their own way. For some reason or another, I really do think Toyota nailed the GR86 in terms of looks, in terms of OEM styling, in terms of kind of just how the car like operates. Like it's got the right amount of feeling. It's got a little bit of digital to it, but it still has a lot of the analog stuff in there. I just think they nailed it. The only thing that they messed up was the engine with Subaru. But even then, it's like as the cars get older, all of those mechanical parts of cars, like they kind of not go away, but people don't think about them as much of a huge deal because they're getting them for $15,000, or $12,000 versus $40,000 nowadays. I would say the Supra. I think the Supra is an iconic looking car. I think it will be an iconic car. I think a lot of people don't understand what they're probably sleeping on right now because I do think in 10, 15 years, the Supra is going to be one of the top picked tuner cars out there.
This is what's going to happen. It's at where it's at. They're going to start to decline, fall down. All of a sudden, you're going to be able to pick up this 350, 400 horsepower car for $30K.
Yep.
And you can make 500 horse out of it. Dumb easy. They're going to go fucking like crazy. And then people are going to start wrecking them, cutting them up, doing all the stupid hood rat shit with them, as you do. And then they're going to get a little more rare. And then all of a sudden they're going to start trickling back up. And everyone's going to be looking for that pristine, just nice stock one. Another car, too, that I think, as long as I've been on this German kick, the GTI 380 edition might go up in value in time because they announced, like, this is it. This is our enthusiast package. This is the last manual GTI, and we are making a package of it. I could see that being a big deal. Also, too, since that's happening with the Golf R, I don't know how long they'll go with that line. I'm assuming there'll probably be an EV one. EV, Rev. I don't know.
Yeah. Golf
but
Rev.
there's like a 20th anniversary Golf R that they did. I could see that also being like, it's like the end of an era, and I think that's going to make a lot of new cars desirable in the future. Even the new Type R, I could see that being pretty.
I do agree.
FK8, yeah.
We are in the last, like you see it all
FL5.
over the news. You see the EVs kind of coming in. You see a lot of the hybrid technology coming into these companies, and EVs and hybrids are a big part of the selling package nowadays, especially when you look at California and everything that they're pushing and stuff like that. I would say the only other timeless car I could really think of that is going away was was the Gen 1 and Gen 2 R8. It's crazy to think. I know this is like I know it's a really expensive car. I'm not trying to like bring it out of control, but the Gen 1 R8 is coming up on damn near 20 years.
Yeah, that's insane to think about.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is crazy.
It's a
And it still
20-year-old car, and you look at it and you're like,
yeah, you see when you're like, I want that.
it still looks damn good.
You know what didn't?
What?
The Bugatti Veyron.
That's true.
Like if you're talking about like similar, like that thing, dude, I can't stand the front end of that.
I don't
car
know. If
anymore.
I seen a Gen 1 Bugatti Veyron, I'd still be like, whoa!
Yeah, be like, whoa, that looks fucking ugly.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are goofy.
They look like they got punched in the face.
Even when they came out, I always thought that they're very distinct
Yeah.
looking, I think, on
Yeah,
purpose.
I think they did it. Was it the Chiron? I think
Yeah.
they did-
that one-
was
the
a
Chiron
nice.
looks
Definitely
good.
modernized angular,
version, yeah.
not as bubbly.
So like, it's kind of the same that they did with the R8, but I still think the Gen 1 R8 still looks pretty damn.
I think you can buy a Gen 1 R8 automatic 4.2 V8, and I think, dude, that I don't care. I still think you're getting a damn good car. 420 horsepower, mid-engine, all-wheel drive,
it's just
fun
like,
experience.
I feel like
could have
if you're
more.
gonna do it, you gotta get the 10.
See, that's what everybody
gotta
says
do
until
it.
you see the price tag, and then
Well,
you're like,
right. But that's the thing. I'm not getting either, so I can sit back
can
here
say
and
whatever I
get
want,
the
yeah.
10.
all right. With that being said, I think we should take a break, but not before our next sponsor.
Me? My Fortunatos are still holding up, baby. That's why they sponsored the MartiniWorks podcast. Long before this life of talking about cars and parts in front of a camera, I talked about cars and parts in front of my friends. And you know what I did then? I bought Fortunatos, even back then, because I absolutely love them. Been running them for years. They're customizable, rebuildable. They look sick. I honestly think that Fortunatos are some of the best looking coilovers, even though once you put them in, you won't see them anymore. But you'll know that you have some of the best looking coilovers. Really good quality. Guys are in Virginia, and they take it serious. So if you're looking for a set of Fortunato coilovers, you can check them out at MartiniWorks, and you can learn more because we've done some videos on them. So make sure to check that out. And a big thank you to Fortunato for sponsoring the podcast.
Breaking news.
What do you got?
We're out here and say, with the first question to you guys, how come some older cars are incredibly slow despite having good horsepower numbers? Why do you
They're
think?
so heavy, dude. They aren't made out of fucking paper thin aluminum. They're like all steel.
Gels?
So why are some older cars slow despite having higher horsepower numbers?
Like, why?
And
I don't-
older cars were huge.
Yeah, I don't think they did have higher. They had big engines, but
No,
they didn't have.
There's some like 300 plus horsepower old cars.
Yeah, they, like you said,
and
were
they feel
freaking
like
massive.
boats. Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I think it's more of like, you think of like the Mustangs or whatever, and it's like, okay, yeah, it had a big old V8 in it, but it was making 230 horsepower.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like sometimes I think the headers and exhaust improvements on those old cars do so much.
yeah,
Because
they were really restricted. I mean, yeah, I think it was just a combination of stuff where it's like, okay, it has a bunch of weight. It wasn't optimized. Maybe the transmission wasn't the best. Maybe like the mechanical advantage got lost like somewhere down the drivetrain that just couldn't put it down. The gearing was weird. I think yeah.
nice. I got a new one.
Okay.
What's the best car-related insult you've ever heard?
The best car-related insult?
Okay, so I'll
Yeah,
None
with an
wears
example.
Nike
Yeah.
Pros.
big Nissan Altima Energy has a pretty strong sting to it, regardless of what someone drives. Somebody said, I was thinking about a casual insult my dad dropped a few years ago. We pulled up to a store and someone with a 10-year-old Audi had taken up 2 spots near the front, obviously intentionally, so as to avoid getting dinged. As we drove by, he said, dry as could be. Come on, buddy. The waitress at the bowling alley drives one of those. You don't need to do that.
Jesus. What's
I
the
would
waitress at the
say-
bowling alley do to hurt you?
It's always the people that up badge compliment. That is the one that
Oh,
stings the
yeah.
worst. It's
Hey, nice GSX.
Yeah.
It's a G.
nice
Oh.
Focus RS. It's an ST, but that's cool.
That's
too.
so
yeah, that
cool.
we've talked about that, and we'll go. That is, I still hate that.
It's like the
Constantly being
downtown.
reminded that you didn't get the best trim.
Yeah, and it's not even intentional.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
made it, and it's such an awkward conversation
Yeah.
to be in because I've done it myself too. It just slips out. It's
Yeah,
like,
so this
oh, is
one's
that
not
a
all-wheel
a
drive?
blank? And then they're like, no, it's. I'm like, shit, like I did the thing.
I've been there before.
Yeah.
I recall, there was a good one here. Dude had an Austin Mini at a car show. Another dude comes up and says, how many clowns can you fit in there? Without missing a beat, the Austin owner says, go get your family and we can find out.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
That was good. Good.
There's another good one. I recall an article from Car and Driver where someone stated the anemic Pontiac Sunfire produces horsepower in the same manner a dog shits a peach pit.
I don't know what any of that meant.
I don't understand any of it.
What the fuck?
Oh, let's see another one. Nissan Altima. It could happen to you.
Yeah. The Ultima one's good. Oh, man, I don't know. I don't have my own. I'm not that witty of a person.
What? No way. No way.
What?
Oh, the new here we go. The new 2025 Cadillac CT5V Blackwing has a meaner face, and it, my friends, is coming out with 668 horsepower out of its V8.
That's insane. And I'll never be able to afford it.
It's the last car of its kind.
But they're so dope. If you
That
haven't
is
checked
dope.
out a Blackwing, look at them. They're sick.
They're underrated.
Everybody,
Well,
It's just like they're. I feel like not many people like know of them.
Right.
I guess.
No one talks about
Yeah,
it.
no one talks about them.
well, because they're not really meant to be for us.
Yeah, they're
No,
not
that's-
attainable.
that's
They're for like
exactly.
retired.
Yeah.
Old race car drivers.
Yeah.
Literally, they're
Yeah,
meant
yep.
for like retired people that are going to Ron Fellows to pull out like
Yes.
they're radical,
Yep.
but they need to pick up their wife on the way home,
But
and
still want to be cool.
they get a
And
CT5
dude,
Blackwing.
it's 668 horsepower, and they're fucking going 60 miles an hour on the highway
Yep.
too.
Yep.
Dude, I love it. And I think for the styling, I think Cadillac is one of those brands where I think it has been one of the few to retain its kind of unique design.
Sure.
When you think about
Yeah.
it, like Cadillacs with the long
They're
tail
distinctive.
lights, the
Like you
long
know a
headlights.
Cadillac
Yeah.
when you see them.
You're right.
Audi does it well too.
Yeah.
When you see an Audi, you know an Audi.
Mhm.
But yeah, I agree. There's a lot of brands that have blended together over the years.
Mhm.
They're all looking for this angular, modern look.
Mhm.
But like, there's certain makes that have done a really good job of like staying true to their brand.
Yeah, because it does make it hard when you start looking at some of this stuff, like the Porsche Macan Turbo, all electric, coming out at 630 base horsepower,
All right,
370-mile range.
I'm gonna say it.
What?
Every Porsche looks fucking the same.
I don't think that's that controversial, Dakota.
I didn't say it was controversial. I just
Well,
said
just
said
the
he
way,
was gonna
the
say
way
it.
that you said it, it was
Yeah.
like,
Well,
I'm just gonna
um,
say it. I don't
I-
care if nobody agrees with me.
I think he was more worried about you punching him in the jaw or something.
yeah.
Oh no, I agree with you.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah,
I feel
As long as
better.
we're on the same page.
yeah. I don't think it's a bad thing for them all to look the same. Because again, they all look good.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think there's a bad looking
argument there, but,
Porsche in the lineup.
Well,
Is
when your
there?
$20,000 boxer looks like your fucking
I think
GT3
it all
with
comes
a
down to
wing.
how you spec it out. I think.
Yeah.
I remember there was a guy who was making like TikToks or something. He's like, I'm gonna spec out the worst possible Porsche, and it was horrendous.
Oh.
What I will say, and this is maybe the controversial opinion for me, is I don't think Porsches are always worth the amount that they're getting demanded.
Oh, hey, yo.
Like, it seems like every single day Porsche's actually becoming worse than, dare I say, the old prancing horse.
What car manufacturer is the most true to its price, do you think?
Ferrari.
What the fuck?
I do. I think it is. I think
What?
Here, I got two. I think Ferrari, and I think Honda is the most true to its word.
50 grand for a Honda Civic?
I do think with like the SI and the inflation and where everything is at, I think it's probably. Do I think it's overpriced? Yes. Do I think all cars are overpriced?
Yeah.
Yes. So I think if you like bring the water level up for everything, I think Honda still nails it. And I don't think the Type R is that car. I think it's still a little too much. But like the SIs, I just don't think you've ever really gotten a bad gig with an SI. Ever.
Yeah, I think Honda's a good one. Ferrari, I don't even begin to understand. I put that. I don't.
So when you think about like expensive, outlandish cars,
Yeah.
Yep.
and you think like what are the 3 or 4 you think about? You think about Lamborghini, Ferrari, probably McLaren is hiding in there,
Yep.
and like Porsche.
Mhm.
I would say Porsche sits.
McLaren,
I-
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you think about a McLaren, you buy a 7-year-old McLaren right now for like $100,000, and like the whole fucking car is falling apart. The entirety of the car is just like you see Tavares trying to rebuild this P1, and it's like
Yeah.
McLaren doesn't service the
Right.
hybrid system anymore, so you're fucked. Like there's no option for these people to have support on some of these cars, and McLaren will outright just tell you like, hey, that 570, we don't support it anymore. There's
Right.
no parts for it, so whatever you can get, you're gonna have to get from other 570s that blow up. So then you have Porsche, which is obviously super cool and I guess exciting, but it's not. It doesn't have like the the class, like that boisterous class. I said the word again.
Just
I'm
on
sorry.
a kick this week.
I'm sorry. But so then you're left with like Lamborghini and Ferrari. And I think when I look at the Ferrari brand versus the Lamborghini brand, I feel like the Ferrari kind of is the car on the grass, sunny day kind of thing.
You're actually paying for you get what you pay for.
Yes. Do people like the brand? No. They're arrogant, they're
Right.
kind of noisy,
Okay.
they're sensitive, they're Nancy's, but the car itself.
Yeah, I can honestly see it. I think where it comes from, it's like it's just such a high one where it's it's hard to see. But I think you're right.
Like I don't ever hear of
Do you think
Lamborghini.
you've-
Like I
okay.
don't ever hear Lamborghini. Like
That's
what
what
is
I
Lamborghini doing? Making another car
STOs.
that just looks like they're just like, wait, people like the
SUVs,
Evos?
yeah.
We're gonna make 1 million of those.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, do you think that when we come back to the discussion, it's like, does that price match what you're getting?
I don't
you think
so,
Ferrari-
dude. I honestly think a lot of those you're paying for the pedigree of the brand.
Yeah.
And that's factored into the cost, and everybody knows that.
I've never
Same thing
bought a
with-
new Ferrari, by
With
the way.
Same thing with Lamborghini.
I have no idea.
Same thing with Ferrari. Like that's just in it because it's in its heritage. Like I feel like you can get similar performing cars for less, which in turn would make Ferrari not.
Well, like, what do you think? Take dollar bills out of it entirely,
'Kay.
right? Try to just
Well, that's weird.
try to wipe the mind of
'Kay.
the credit card bill, okay?
Gone.
And you are looking at every single car manufacturer and what you know about it from a heritage perspective, okay? You have any dealership you can go into to buy a car, but you're not using money to determine it. You're
just get
using
the car.
heritage, okay?
Okay.
Where do you go? Where would you go?
Heritage?
Like, yeah, you're going to buy something, right?
Yeah,
that
I
you're
get
saying
what he's
the
asking. I'm just
true
trying
is
to really
the
think.
true is to itself. You've got what Nissan thinks it is versus what
Yeah.
Nissan actually is. You got what Mitsubishi thinks they are versus what they actually are. And you have any option out there. What door are you walking through?
BMW.
I'd honestly probably say Porsche. Just from the heritage side of it,
Mhm.
honestly.
But that's with money not involved. With money involved, I wouldn't do BMW because they depreciate super fast.
That's what I'm saying. No
Yeah.
money, no money, just pure
Yeah.
story, pure lineage,
Yeah.
pure heritage.
Yeah, I think Porsche's got a
Yeah,
pretty
Porsche
good-
does have a good story behind it.
Okay.
And then I could see the same thing for Ferrari then too. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I should know more about Ferrari and Lamborghini before really diving in. I don't know a lot. I'm more of like an outside perspective looking in because I've never been like, maybe I should get a
I'm just gonna go check one out.
No, it's
Yeah, I'm just gonna do some
just-
research, see what it be.
It's the same thing for me as like jumping on Zillow and sometimes just
All
looking
right,
at the
yeah.
expensive houses
Maybe
just to like
yeah.
look at them.
Maybe what it is I haven't experienced the tech that has gone into Ferrari. Like I haven't drove one on the track to be like, holy fuck, okay, this is why it's 200K.
Yeah.
Like, so it's hard for me to grasp why it really is. But I know, like you said, when you got to take that 430 out on the track, you really got to see like what that car was fucking about and how
Yeah.
it hugged and like you could feel it kind of like
Yeah,
suction
sunk.
cup to the.
Yeah. I
So
don't-
that could change perspective completely, and I don't have that, so I'll stop talking.
I don't know. It's a cool. And if you guys have one below that's different, let me know. I also think another one is maybe a little bit of an out of pocket pick. That's not more on the sports car side, but I always think Volvo's done a really good job
Sure.
with what they make, what they kind of target.
They have like a really cool like customer experience thing they do too. If like you buy like one of their brand new cars, like they'll like fly you over there, show you the factory, show you your car being built.
Yeah.
Like,
That's really
you can
fucking
like
cool.
go drive it around over there.
Toyota gives you a track day, and if you use it and your car blows up, you're like, fuck you, dude. Why'd you track it?
I would tell you what Nissan.
I know they do.
I would tell you what Nissan's is, but I think mine got cut short.
Shit.
Shit. Well,
Wait, what is Nissan's?
I don't know. I bought the car and that
Yeah,
was
you
it.
bought a brand new car. What'd you get for it? The brochure? Usually nowadays there's like something with that.
you got awkward conversations. That's what you
No,
got.
we're not gonna.
we don't have to go into it, but like even with that situation occurring, I don't know what I expected, but I expected
Something.
something.
Yeah.
Well,
I-
yeah, and that's
Did
just
you get a
because-
hat?
No,
Yeah.
We didn't even fucking Nissan
See,
hat.
yeah,
I didn't get a hat. I didn't get a shirt. I didn't get a koozie. I didn't get anything.
Andy's dad got like the whole swag gear when he bought his Nissan Murano.
Yeah,
But you don't get nothing for this.
Nissan. If
Give
you're
you a fucking Hot Wheel with
yeah,
it.
Nissan. If you're listening, I don't know if you're supposed to, but it'd be cool if you did, because I got nothing. I got nothing.
And yeah,
I was really looking forward to it too, because I
Yeah,
have the
like a
wall
little
for
hat.
filming like to put something up
Yeah.
as like a little memory, and I got
I bought a brand new car. Like that's cool.
nothing.
What has this been for?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because Toyota offers their program where you get a free track day pass and you can go and ride and learn and stuff like that when you buy a brand new car, which is neat, I think. And then you're talking about the Volvo experience. I guess I never thought about what other manufacturers offer.
I've always wanted to, for the silliest of reasons. You know how you can go and you can kind of build your own car like Porsche online. So they have those experiences in person with certain cars. I think Porsche does it in some of their.
Oh, you like
some
go
of their
in and
dealerships.
like spec it out. Yeah.
But you can spec out literally like the whole thing on like a
pull, like,
screen,
leather
and they
samples out,
they
yeah.
pull the samples of the color. For some reason, to me, I just like that is such a neat concept. Aston Martin, I don't know why I haven't thought about them. They're another brand that I think has done a really cool job, just kind of being this British upper class brand that's just out there.
I feel
What are
like
they doing? We don't know.
depreciate hard.
They do, especially when they're. I think they're still owned.
I
by
think
Ford.
James Bond saved Aston Martin. Otherwise, it'd be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
DB9.
Speed most wanted.
The DB9 did wonders for the brand.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Do you guys know that the Aston Martin doors, they don't actually open out; they open up.
Like,
Like
like,
at a
what do you mean? Like,
yeah. So
gullwing?
this is gonna fuck you up
Like-
because once you see it, you'll never be
they-
able to
they
unsee it.
kinda
So
just-
so instead of opening like this,
right?
right,
They go-
and they don't open like that,
Okay.
they open like this,
Like they slightly
like
go up?
like just
like slightly in out?
just enough to look like it's broken.
My
Weird.
240 does that, but down.
That's called sag.
Oh. Thought maybe it had a really cool feature.
All right. Last but not least,
It is.
out of context questions.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We got a couple of them.
All right.
All right, starting off. First things first. Would you rather drive summer tires in the winter or winter tires in the summer?
Oh.
Tires in the or summer tires in the winter. I've done it.
Didn't go so high.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's still with us.
I'm here.
I think I'd rather do winter tires in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to run out quick, but dude, summer tires on snow ice, you're going to die.
Would you rather have to own a Porsche 911, but everybody that compliments your car, you have to correct them and say it's Porsche versus Porsche?
Oh, you do that.
Or, no, I
Oh,
don't.
that's so snobby.
Or would you rather own a GT500, but you must have a mullet for the rest of your life?
Oh, mullet.
500.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't care.
There you go.
That's
All right.
badass.
That's bad.
Mullets are timeless.
And my GT500 fast as fuck.
Yeah. 100%. And I don't got to be a Porsche snob.
Yeah. Yeah, no one's going to look at the GT500 guy with a mullet and be like, that guy's stuck up.
That was the
No
first
one's going to have beef with that guy.
I remember hearing that for the first time at a Cars and Coffee in Minnesota, and I like, cringed. That's I was initially put off to the Porsche brand because that was like one of my first experiences was walking by and somebody was like, "I really like your Porsche," and it was like one of the really nice garages, and like the owner was like, "Thanks, but it's Porsche."
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Okay, on that note, what is, outside of that, what is something that you hear people say about cars that just makes you fucking cringe?
That is a good one. I feel bad because it is kind of snobby, but it's been happening recently and it irks me really bad. And I try everything just not to say something. When someone says MK instead of Mark,
Oh, yeah.
and like I'm not trying to be a snob, it's just like I don't know why that one bugs me, but it really does. Like the MK7, the MK, just gives me the little bit of the irk.
Yeah.
I don't care that much. Like,
Not the
But-
ick, but the irk.
but when I hear it back to back,
Midwest
I'm
ick.
like, hey.
That's not how
Stop
you
it.
say that. That's not.
I hate when people say they chip their car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well,
It's chipped.
Yeah, I instantly think less of your car if you say that.
Rims.
Yeah.
I don't.
Rims.
Yeah, rims is a touchy one.
Oh, dude? Oh, we were going to buy the Golf R and we stopped in Green Bay and I had to like make small talk with the guy at the bank that was cutting the check. Because Maya was getting the check and he was sitting there talking to me about what we were getting. And then immediately after I told him, he just sat for 15 minutes and told me everything that he hated about German cars and why they're unreliable. Like immediately after we said what we were getting.
You know what that's called?
No.
Insecurity.
But then what gives me the ick, and this one's a little more broad than what you're asking, but is when people know you're a car person, so then they try to talk cars with you, but you can tell that person isn't a car
But
person.
that's because they're trying to be nice.
No, yeah, well, are they when they're saying how bad your vehicle is and
Well,
how
that part is not.
Is there any extended warranties you can get with that thing? Because them German cars, I worked around a shop and dude, them guys that come in with those V4 cylinders and stuff, it's just they're not good, aren't right?
I will tell you. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
Mm-hmm.
If there are bank people out there that are looking at your car loan, right, and they keep talking to you about like, so what are you gonna do with the car?
Mm-hmm.
Know that they're probably not asking you because they are car people. They're trying to figure out like, why the fuck are you buying this?
Yeah.
A lot of times that's what they're doing. When
Yeah.
it's like, hey, your debt to income ratio is like 62%. Why the fuck are you buying this Chevy Camaro? What are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is.
I remember when I was looking at buying the RX-8, I almost fucking reached to the phone and strangled the person on the other end of my credit union because it was around the time when, fucking the market was going insane. Like, car would go up for sale and it'd be gone in like 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was just how it was everywhere. So I called my hometown credit union of fucking 2,000 people that I, for some reason, still have an account through. And I was like, hey, I need to get this loan. I'd like to go pick up this vehicle like tonight, kind of thing, or like tomorrow if possible. And like the process was like just so fucking horrendous. And like I remember they ended up just like, well, can you just call us? And I'm like, so I like fucking call them, and they're like going through this process, and I'm like, okay, well, like when can I expect this? Because usually it's like my credit union down here, it's like I need a loan. It's like, oh yeah, it's in your account in like 2 hours, like approved, got it. It's all online. They're like, well, we're gonna need to email you something. You're gonna have to print it off and sign it, and then send it back to us, and then we're gonna have this looked at. And I'm like, is there any way I can have this tonight so I can go pull it out of like a credit union down here to go get it? And they're like, what kind of car are you buying that it's selling so fast? And I'm just like,
so the greatest thing about credit unions is they work with you. They work for the people, if you will. The problem is they're also kind of like your grandma.
I got like mommed.
That gives you advice, but you're 35 and you're doing just fine. Like they're still giving you advice that worked in 1965. Credit unions are like that literally all the time. I love them to death, but holy shit.
I love my credit union. I don't think I have anything bad to say. I got in because I worked at John Deere back in the day, and it's only for Deere employees that can enter it. And I'm like, hey, I'm looking at a car. They're like, sick. What are you doing with the Focus ST? Like they remember, you know. And I was like, I'm probably gonna trade in. They're like, oh, dope, yeah, that's definitely an upgrade. How much you need? And I'm like, 18 grand. They're like, oh, perfect. I put it in the account. Click. I'm like, oh shit.
RCU over on the west side of Wisconsin, Royal Credit Union has always been good to me. I did work there for 7 years, but I still
helps.
I still do all my stuff with them, and it's kind of the same thing. The only thing is that sometimes they want me to jump on like a phone call, and I just tell them no. Like that's the thing. Like
I wish I could do that with
phone calls. Phone calls are my. They'll be like, "Can we just call you to walk through this?" I'm like, "If you have an email, you can email me. I promise you.
Yes.
I will get back to you." They're like, "Oh, it's just a lot." I'm like, "I know."
I specifically remember like sending an email back, like, please do not call me. Like I am working.
Well, they're fucking open during when everybody else is working. It doesn't make any sense.
Hours are the worst.
Explain to me why we're open from the hours of 10 to 5. Really? Because I'm working from 8 to 6. What the fuck?
Like, it was to the point where it's like
so bad.
I was trying so hard to just keep it in the email. I'm like selling
Not open on
bulleted like questions, like bulleted answers to the response. Like I'm talking to a fucking toddler, and there's like, can you just call us? And then like I'm like, fine. I call them. They're like, so what is the car again? Can you like how much is it? Okay, that's all I needed to know. Thank you. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
we talked about this before. We're gonna open up a second shift bank and change the world.
Yeah, we're gonna open up our
second shift bank.
Martini Credit Union. Open from the hours of 4 to 10.
I'm not working for that.
4 to 10.
I'm not working for it.
Yeah,
Reaping the rewards.
Yeah. I'm gonna get set up like the John Deere account.
There you go. I don't know. I think there are icks obviously all across the car scene. I think when there's almost like an overtly large sense of entitlement with the car that you own.
Okay.
I think is just a general ick. You know, like you can be happy that you own the car, but when you need to force why it's so good onto other people, it immediately turns into an ick because you're no longer owning the car for yourself. Like you're owning it to show other people,
Yeah.
which is always a really weird thing for me. And that goes with like
It's a
any
weird way to
group.
go about it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Corvette clubs, obviously they have those people. You know, I think Ferrari clubs definitely have those people. But like any group has that. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's the same thing as the track audience. You know, the track, go to the track once, and then all of a sudden this person's a track rat, and everybody else is the worst thing in the world. They need to tell everybody that everybody else. It's like, dude, fuck off. Shut up. Enjoy your car. Drive it.
Yeah.
And then break it. And then we know you're actually doing stuff at the track. That's how I see it. That's my ick.
Boik it.
All I'm saying
Blake
is my
it.
shit breaks a lot. So.
You're the most professional out of all of us.
Damn, dude, you're so good.
I
so
can't
good,
wait.
break some.
I can't wait for you to
That's
turbo
a
your
joke, by the
Nissan.
way. Joke.
Triggered.
Well, it's not a joke that you break stuff all
No,
the
that's not a joke, but the correlation.
Just wanted to
is a joke.
clarify.
If we could just
My
get,
shit breaks because my cars are old.
if we could just get you a car that worked all the time. With that being said, thank you so much for listening in on the MartiniWorks podcast. Hope you guys are subscribed. If you're looking for car parts, mod your car at MartiniWorks. Please, please, please. And if you need any help, use the chat bot. You're talking to one of us literally every single time. We appreciate you listening to the podcast. By the next time we're here,
This should be the last one here.
Heard
season
that before.
Season
Season
two.
two.
Season two.
It's coming up.
It's coming.
I'm so excited. So thank you guys so much for the support. It means the world that we're able to do this with you, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.